it's Christy. Welcome to day 2 of my 2015 holiday card series. Today we'll be featuring this Lawn Fawn set called Making Frosty Friends, as well as the bundled up 6x6 paper pad by Cartabella. To color our snowman, I'm going to start with some BG 000 and BG quadruple 0, just to give him that nice frosty look along the side. And then I'm going to take YR16 and YR18 to color in his little carrot nose. And I'll go ahead and put my marker caps there so that you can see which colors I'm using. For his top hat, I wanted to give him a little bit of a different look, so instead of black, I'm going with brown. And I'm just using my favorite brown combo here. This is E25, E27, and E29. I'm just building up my shadows along the edge to give that hat a rounded look. And then I'll go back in reverse order to just blend everything back in. So that's E27, and then back with the E25. For my band on my hat and for the scarf that's coming up next, I'll be using my favorite red combo, which is R29, R39, and R59. A lot of this shading will be covered up in the end with some stickles, but I did want to just add the shading because a little bit of it will show through. So just doing a little bit of a messy bottom layer there to get the paper saturated. Normally I would be a little bit neater, but since I'm coloring so many images on this video today, I thought I'd just get the marker down so that I can get everything on the video quickly. But it really doesn't matter. In the end, you'll never tell because, as long as you do a good job blending, that bottom layer is really just to wet the paper. So I'm moving on to my little bird here, and I'm using B93, B95, and B97. I really like these blues. They're great for jeans as well. That's going to give him a nice kind of a traditional bluebird look. And then I'll just go back in reverse order again to blend everything in with the B95 and the B93. And then I will color in his little beak and his scarf in the same oranges and reds that I have been using so far, which is YR16, YR18, and then R29, R39, and R59. I hope you guys are enjoying the coloring portion of this video. I know a lot of you like to see the coloring, so I tried to include as many images as I could today. I will be using one more bird that I colored identically. And then I'm just going to die cut those pieces out with the matching dies, and I'm using a little post-it tape, and then I'll move on to the card making portion of the video. So I've got my papers cut down to size. I did the red piece at 5 1/4 by 4, and then the piece on top that has all the little scarves and mittens and things, I just shaved a 1/4 inch off of that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue these together with some Tombow Mono multi-glue, and I'm just going to stagger those a little bit so you can see the red peeking back from behind the front paper. And then I'll just glue that on my card base, which is MFT's Hot Cocoa cardstock folded to a standard 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. So my focal panel I cut out with the Lawn Fawn Stitch Journaling Tag die, and then I used a little landscape trio die from from Lawn Fawn to just go ahead and die cut that snowy border. The sentiment that I used was from the Ready Set Snow stamp set that was just released recently, and then I'll just continue building up my snowman by adding on all the little accessories and the little birds. And this one I'm just going to tuck into the snowy hill there. I'm going to take some Frost White Color Box Pigment ink and a couple of snowflakes from that set, Making Frosty Friends, and just go ahead and stamp a background. And then I'm going to add this little polka dot border across the top just to give kind of a little break in the pattern. And then I will take some silver tinsel lawn trimmings and just wind that around and tie it into a little bow here. And then I'll just go ahead and trim off the little excess with my scissors. I'm taking some foam tape and adding that to the back of my panel and adhering that right over top of the lawn trimmings. Just making sure I've got that straight, and then I can press down. I'm taking a little snowflake sequin from Wow and adding that to the center of my bow with some Ranger Multimedia Matte, and then I just added a little red gem there from Recollections. And then I'm taking some Christmas red stickles and adding that to all the red places. And if you have times where your stickles or anything like that goes out of the lines, I like to use that pick-me-up tool to just kind of press everything back into place. I'm adding some crystal stickles to my snowbank and the side of my snowman. And then I'm going to take some enamel accents, and I'll just squeeze out a little bit. And then I'll take the fine tip of my pick-me-up tool and just add a little dab of that to the eyes of my snowman and the birds. For me, it's all in the details, and I feel like these little accents really bring the snowmen to life. Kind of brightens up their eyes and makes them look lively. And that completes our card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please stay tuned for the next installment. And if you're not a subscriber, I'd love for you to become one. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.